What happens when you commit years of your life training for one moment?
I feel like I've sacrificed so much, and not only that, but like my coach has and my mom has as well.
Peak performance, when everything clicks, it's awesome. Unfortunately, it just doesn't happen that often.
You have to focus on yourself for an entire year. You can't really hang out with your family or your friends.
And then that moment is gone.
Japan's Prime Minister Abe is set to propose a one-year delay for the Olympics.
Japan's Prime Minister now saying that postponing the Games may be unavoidable.
They decided they were going to postpone it for another year.
The pandemic has altered our world in so many significant ways, like the 2020 Tokyo Olympics being delayed. July 24th, 2020 would have marked the beginning of the Games. So how are Olympic hopefuls coping when their whole world was centered around this one event?
Pedal to the metal, 100%, live, eat, breathe, swimming. If we're not training, we are doing things to make sure that we can train well in the next training session. Everything was geared towards swimming fast. And then now, everything is not that way. The analogy that I like to use is that this isn't a stop, this isn't a hard stop, but we're just easing off the accelerated pedal just a little bit.
Nathan Adrian is a 5-time Olympic gold medalist in swimming. Since beating cancer in 2019, he's been training for a spot on his 4th Olympic team. But after COVID-19 delayed the Tokyo Games, he had to put his Olympic ambitions on hold again.
Before, it was extremely regimented. It was down to, you could tell me, hey, what day it is, and give me probably a 10-minute increment, and I could tell you what I was doing. On a good day, I will get in a little weight training, and then head up to the pool, get a little bit of swim training, and then do whatever we need to do at the pool.
Nathan is one of thousands of Olympic hopefuls across the U.S., struggling to adapt to the Olympics delay. And it's forced some athletes to make tough choices.
There are definitely days where I wake up and I'm like, this sucks. I did not account for this. So don't be too hard on yourself when you have bad days. Know that it's okay to not be okay sometimes.
Kamali Thompson is a national fencing champion. She was hoping to make her Olympic debut in 2020. But she's also a 4th-year medical student. And that's where things get really complicated.
I wanted to be a doctor as long as I remember. The original plan was to take off a year of school, train for the Olympics, hopefully make the Olympics, go to the Olympics, and then start my 4th year of school, because your 4th year, we applied to residency. So when the Olympics were postponed a year, I was very stressful, because that meant I would be trying to make the Olympics and try to get into residency at the same time, which is way too much for me to comprehend. Sometimes we wake up and we just feel off, not necessarily upset, but just off, and that's definitely quarantine fever.
From the age of 3, I knew I wanted to go to the Olympics. I don't even know how I knew about the Olympics at the age of 3, to be honest with you. It was just something that I set a goal in my mind, and when I set a goal, I want to achieve it, and I'll do anything to achieve it.
19-year-old Morgan Hurd is already a world champion in gymnastics, and she's training to qualify for her first Olympic Games.
The biggest sacrifice I just feel like is time and certain normal teenager activities, big high school events and parties.
Morgan's entire childhood was dedicated toward reaching the Olympics. Adding another year has been a considerable mental adjustment.
There are some days where I just I don't want to work out and I don't really want to do anything, but I think to myself, it's hard because then you feel bad about it.
Psychologists say the pandemic has left a huge toll on a lot of people's mental health. resulting in mass anxiety and grief. Being a high-performing athlete takes mental strength and focus. Olympic hopefuls have to deal with the stress and anxiety many are facing now, while sustaining their peak physical state. And each has their own method of coping.
I definitely tend to gloss over a little bit of the difficult times, especially emotionally. And I know that I have a tendency to do that, which is why I actually journaled when I was dealing with cancer last year. And it's important for me to like open that journal and go back and sort of relive it.
One of my mottos right now is like, just do whatever makes you happy. I don't want to put myself in this super rigid schedule because that's only going to make me more stressful.
But one thing that's kept each athlete going is their passion for their sport.
Feels like you're absolutely on cloud nine. You just have such a rush of adrenaline and you just feel so much joy.
One of my favorite emotions is when you wake up on competition day and you just feel great. Like there's like an energy in the air that just says like, I'm gonna do well today.
I committed to swimming through the Olympic trials 2020 and hopefully the Olympic Games. I'm going to honor that commitment to myself because that's something that's important to me.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.